And welcome to Around the Nation. I'm your host, Larry Godwin, and you're watching the Viking Nation Live. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another Thursday night extravaganza. I guess I'm going to use that word here. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We've got a great show tonight. We've got an unexpected and unpredictable show tonight. You're going to have to stick with me for the full 45 minutes to an hour to see what I'm up to. We've got something up my sleeve. A major announcement is going to be made on air live tonight that will affect both the Valdosta and Lowndes communities. You guys intrigued yet? So stick around. You're going to love it. Hey, in addition to that, we've got some pretty cool guests tonight. We really do. And one of them is a guy named Heath Phelps. He is the Lowndes tennis coach, and they've had a spectacular year. It sadly ended recently, but man, did these kids have a great season. So listen, without much further ado here, I'm going to bring on the Lowndes tennis coach. Coach, you with me? Coach Phelps, can you hear me? Hey, Coach Phelps, can you hear me?
I can't hear you, Larry.
Okay. Let me, hey, try, if you can hear me, try disconnecting and then come back in. Let's see if that works. Listen, that's the nature of a live program. So that sometimes that stuff works. Sometimes it happens, but we'll just soldier through. See if he can hear me now. Coach, how about now?
I can't hear.
You can't hear me at all? All right, so let's do this. I'm going to give you my telephone number for you just to call.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Yeah, the audience can hear you perfectly. Our coach, listen, I'm going to. Not exactly sure what's going on there. I'm going to text the coach my phone number here. This is great. This is live stuff going on right here. All right, so coach, if you can call into this number. All right, so listen, we'll just move right along here. We're going to get these technical difficulties worked out with Coach Phelps, and then hopefully we'll have him onto the show a little bit later on. So in the interim, we've got a major announcement here to make tonight. Yeah. So I'm about to bring on a guest, a guy named, my volume on my end is not working. I can't hear. I hate live stuff. I really do. Try calling in at 229-469-1205. We'll just do it the old-fashioned way with Ma Bell. Okay, Coach? So if you can hear me, call in to 229-469-1205. 1205. All right, so in the interim, what we're going to do is we're going to bring on another guest. And so his name is a guy named Daryl Britt. And as a Viking Nation program, you might be shocked to know that Daryl is a major, and I want to capitalize major Wildcat fan. But hey, we've got Coach calling in right now. Hey, Coach, can you hear me?
Larry, can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfectly now. So let's bring
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Technical difficulty on the laptop.
That's right. So what we're going to do, Coach, is I'll just do a traditional telephone interview like this because I'm not sure what happened to the volume there because I've got another guest that's basically zoomed in and the volume's working perfectly. But that's just modern technology. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But Coach, let me ask you about you are the tennis coach out there at Lowndes High School. How long have you been the coach?
This is my 19th season at Lowndes High School. I've been coaching and teaching there since 2002, 2003 school year. But yeah, Lowndes High School is the only school I've been, and this is 19 seasons.
Wow. And, you know, when it comes to being the tennis coach, you guys, that program out there, you're no stranger to success. You've had a number of good teams out there, and this year is no different. Am I right there?
Well, I appreciate that, Larry. We have enjoyed a lot of success over the years. The boys team over the past few years has really experienced high success. We had 2019 was our 10th region title. The girls this year, phenomenal record. It was kind of a changing of the guard. Kind of the boys. We have a young group this year. They were very competitive. But the girls team this year really had a special group and a young group as well. But success, yes, that's one thing. But the kids themselves, that makes the program. And we have a lot of stellar kids. We have and the history of the program has been phenomenal as a family-oriented group. And I'm just proud of everyone and all the work they've done over the years, and still keep in contact with a lot of former players and even parents. So, for example, yesterday at the match, we played second round state. Girls hosted North Cobb. Had a lot of former players, parents show up. So to me, that's what it's all about.
Coach, let me ask you something. What do you think it is, or what contributes to the perennial success that Lowndes Tennis has had? Is it your coaching style? Is it great athletes coming through the system, a combination of the two, or what do you attribute it to?
I would say it's my coaching style. We've had phenomenal kids, phenomenal parents. I've had numerous of assistant coaches throughout the years that have done stellar jobs. This year's no stranger to that. My hat's off, and a big thank you to Kevin Copeland and Maggie West, formerly Maggie Weisenbaker. She was a former player for us years ago. Now she's teaching at the high school, and she came out to help this year. And Kevin, he was a boys coach at Harrison High School, which is another perennial powerhouse up in the Cobb County area. So, yeah, we have hard workers, great kids, but once you set the tone and expectations, they buy in. And for South Georgia, I think I'm very pleased. I think we've had a great program throughout the years.
Gotcha. Now, do you guys have any type of feeder program coming in, starting at the middle school, maybe even youth tennis leagues, things like that, feeding into Lowndes High School?
Well, we have three middle schools. We have, of course, Pine Grove, Hayhire, and Lowndes Middle. All of those have tennis teams, tennis programs. But a lot of kids outside of school take private lessons through Parks and Rec, Mackey Park, Harry B. Anderson Tennis Center. Keith Children does a fantastic job giving a lot of these kids private lessons in the off season. Valdosta Country Club, you got his brother Jamie Children and Matt Smith who do private lessons with a lot of these kids. So there's a lot of instruction from the youth, tennis players, young tennis players all the way up. They offer USTA tournaments year round, and if you've been to Mackey Park, you can see what kind of facility we have, and we are very fortunate to have that in Valdosta, in this part of the state. 18 courts, that's pretty impressive. So yeah, there's a lot of youth playing. We do have middle schools. We have three middle school programs. It's a combination of all of it, Larry.
I got you. So I was talking to Philip Peplow yesterday, and he was telling me about the kind of heartbreaking loss that the Lowndes girls tennis team fell to North Cobb yesterday. How close was that? I heard that it came down to the third match or the third set with your number one player.
It was close. It was very competitive. Rachel Black, freshman, she played her heart out. She was 21-0 at number one singles going into this match. To have a deciding match come down to it, that would be a perfect player to have in that position. Just fell a little short.
Right.
She played a girl another player that was a phenomenal player. It was a fun match to watch. But, you know, at the end of the day, we competed. We played against a very solid North Cobb team. We've had many wars and battles against North Cobb in the past. This was no exception. They had a great team. We just fell up a little short. But once you get to this point in the state tournament, you know, every team's going to be solid.
They're all good.
And they're all good. And, you know, once you get this season, every match could be your last. Unfortunately, the day is bittersweet. You know, we wanted to extend it as far as we could, but we didn't. And we sit back and reflect on what we did do well. And I think we had a phenomenal season. The girls have not won region titles since 2013. So a long time coming. We've been close. We've competed for it. Fallen up short in a few years past, but the girls was a great run, including the region tournament, the region title. They also won the title at 3 invitations. So I was very proud of them.
Yeah. So, you know, so your season comes to an end. How many seniors you losing? How many, you know, players you got coming back? What's next season look like?
Next season looks very bright. I think they have a very bright future. On the girls' side, we have 2 varsity starters that we're losing. Hallie Gandy, who played 2 doubles for us this year. She has played singles in the past, so she's well versed at playing different positions. We're losing her. And number 3 singles this year, Megan Hawkins. She is the other senior on the varsity starting lineup that we're losing. But honestly, Larry, the team overall is young. They have a bright future. I said Rachel is a freshman. Number 2 singles, Ella Sifa. She's a sophomore. Number 1 doubles, Millie Prince, also a freshman. Who also played volleyball, volleyball starter back in the fall. And Lauren Folsom, who was Millie's partner at number 1 doubles. She's a junior. So there's a couple young players on JV that are, you know, starting to pick up the game, and so they're going to play a lot this summer. On the boys' side, Connor Chansey, number 1 singles. He's a senior on the boys' side. Number 2 singles, Caleb Trees. Both of those guys have been starters in varsity 4 years. And Josh Ingram, he was new this year, came in, you know, played doubles for us, did a phenomenal job. So three on the boys' side, 2 on the varsity lineup on the girls' side. But we do have players in waiting. And I think next year could be another bright year for the tennis program.
Sounds like you've got a machine built with Lowndes Tennis out there. So your season's over with. What happens now? What does your off season look like? I'm sure everybody just doesn't go on vacation until next season.
No, a lot of kids go out, like I said, go out to the Parks and Rec here, the Anderson Tennis Center. There's a lot of instruction that goes on out there. In the past, for about 15 years, we did some middle school once a week, twice a week middle school camps, clinics at the high school that I ran. Any middle schooler in the Lowndes system are welcome to attend free of charge. We did that in the past. You know, there are tournaments. I do encourage tournaments year round. But you know, there's opportunities around. There are multiple opportunities if you want to play tennis in this town. So that's always been the case, but it's even more so now. So
I got you. Well, Coach, congratulations on a great year. You know, it's never fun when your season ends a little bit shorter than you'd hope to get. You know, everybody's got the goal of bringing home a state title, but it sounds like the kids had a great year. You've had a awesome time influencing those kids. We can't thank you enough for all the work that you and the other coaches out there at Lowndes High do. Not just coaching these student athletes, but setting a good example, building character, instilling in them the Viking way. So thank you so much for everything you do out there at Lowndes High.
Well, I appreciate it. Like I said, the kids, that's what makes the program. We're just help. We're there to guide and hopefully point them in the right direction and make the lineups. And like you know, you said character. That's one thing I've preached since the beginning is class and character. And you can ask any player what we talk about a lot. Those are 2 words. So if you can hold to that on the court and off the court, I think you're in good shape.
Yes, sir. Well, listen, thank you so much for appearing on the Viking Nation tonight. Hey, don't be a stranger. Come back and join us sometime.
Sure will. Thank you, Larry. Sorry about the mic issue earlier.
No problem.
I'm glad we got it. So, and I appreciate all you do too as well.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
All right, you too. Thanks.
Well, there he was, Heath Phelps, Lowndes High tennis coach, does a fantastic job with that program out there. Aren't you guys impressed with all the athletic programs out at Lowndes High? I mean, I've got Lowndes football on my hat because that's the program that gets talked about the most, right? But guys, we have a fantastic athletic program. It doesn't matter if you're talking about baseball, softball, tennis, soccer, the swim. I didn't even know we had a swim team until last year when I was live streaming the region meet. But those kids were competing as well. We got a lot of good things going on at Lowndes High. And so that leads me into my next guest that's coming on. I kind of teased you guys early on that we've got a major announcement here. We've got a major announcement here on the show tonight. And that is we're going to bring on a guy named Daryl Britt. He's a major Valdosta Wildcat fan, but he wants to make an announcement here. And I told Daryl that the Lowndes community, Viking Nation, is a big tent and it welcomes a lot of people. So I'm not going to tease you guys anymore. I'm going to bring on Daryl Britt. People in the Valdosta community know him as the Fresh Prince. Daryl, do I have you?
Yes, sir, Larry. You got me.
All right, man. Listen. So I've teased this up long enough. You and I have been talking about this. You and I first met on another show. Phil Jones does a Monday through Wednesday show called Extra Point with Phil Jones. And I co-hosted on the Wide Open Wednesdays with him for a while. And that's how you and I met. We started, you're a big Wildcat fan. I was a big Lowndes fan. And we went at it every once in a while, right? But you and I started talking.
We went at it tooth and nail a lot.
That's right. That's right. And so you and I have talked, after the show, we've talked privately on the phone and we've become kind of friends. Right.
Yes.
And so I would consider you a friend now. And you called me earlier this week and said, listen, I've made a major life-changing decision and I want to make an announcement so everybody can know what I want to do. So listen, man, I'm going to give you the floor. So you make whatever announcement you want to make.
Well, first of all, Larry, thank you for inviting me on the Viking Nation. Of course, well, as I last week, or as a matter of fact, I'll go back and digress. It's been going on for like the last couple of weeks. I've kind of, as you said earlier during your introduction about making some life changes. Well, I've decided that after 20 years of supporting my alma mater, the Valdosta High Wildcats, I have decided to withdraw my support from Wildcat Nation and give my pledge my loyal and support to Viking Nation.
Woo! Look at that. Man, listen, you see the banner on the screen. Welcome, Fresh Prince Daryl Britt, to the Viking Nation. Listen, man, this is a big tent. I mean, this is a huge tent, and this is a big deal. So I wanted to say congratulations. I'm glad to have you over here, and I've got some buddies that want to listen. The crowd is going wild. Listen to that.
See, this is why me and you always going at it, because you doing all the extra antics, man.
Hey, they call me LG for they don't call me OG for nothing. But I will like to say this. That's right. Hey, listen, Daryl, I told you this was going to happen. When we made this announcement, some people in Viking Nation are going to think this is a joke or a prank. Look at it. Look at this first comment. He says, Seti B says, beat it. Because they don't believe it, man. They don't believe it. But guys, listen. Well, I've had a talk with Daryl, and this is the real deal. He's making the switch from Valdosta over to Lowndes. Well, oh my gosh, I'm going to put this next comment on the screen. Check this out. Check this out. Billy Pearson said, "Is that considered a transfer?" I guess, Billy, I guess it would be considered a transfer. This is not unheard of.
Listen, Billy, this is a bona fide move.
This is a bona fide move over into the Lowndes community. That's right. And Nita Glenn says, "Hey, listen, Daryl, welcome to the Viking Nation." I told you, man, we're a very welcoming group.
Thank you, Anita. I really appreciate it.
That's right. Hey, listen, we're going to take a little bit of a break and take you off the screen. And so I can bring on another coach, but stay put because we're going to bring you back. Okay. You want to get that announcement out there. Guys, so listen, what do you guys think? Wasn't that a major announcement? Ronnie Davis says, "This is a joke." Ronnie, this is not a joke. It's not. Daryl he may be pranking me. I don't know. But, I believe people. I take them at their word. I see him in the background on the backstage. He says, "No, this is the real deal." So he seems to be a sincere guy. So let's listen. I know in a world of cynicism, right, that we can approach, we can be cynics in this situation as well if we choose to be. But let's give Daryl the benefit of the doubt and welcome him into Viking Nation. And now if he burns us, Daryl, we coming for you, bro. Listen, I've got another guest on that's ready to appear on the show. I hope this tech stuff is working tonight. And so we're going to bring on Lowndes football assistant coach, Josh Akers. I believe his official title is associate head coach and special teams coordinator. Coach Akers, do we have you?
Yes, sir, Larry. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Hey, listen, thank you so much for calling in to the show tonight. Now, I want to show people something. Hold on one second. So, guys, I called Coach Akers. I sent him a text a little while ago, about maybe 30 minutes, hour ago. It says, "Listen, I've had some guests cancel on me. Can you make a last-minute appearance into the show tonight?" And, guys, he sent me a photo or a picture of where he is. So I'm going to show you guys what Coach Akers sent me. Check this out. Here it comes right here. So this is where Coach Akers was, sitting on a boat in the middle of a lake. And the guy cares enough about Viking Nation to forego the fishing for now and to call into the show. Man, Coach, we really do appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And actually, I got the boat loaded just in time. So I'm actually not on the lake as we speak. But I did forego the fishing just for you, just so everybody knows that.
Nice, man. I'm gonna leave the picture of the bass boat up there. Listen,
okay, that's perfect.
I do have some serious questions for you. Yesterday was the first day of spring practice for Lowndes football 2021.
Yes, sir.
What was your initial impression? What was the eye test according to Coach Josh Akers? What did you notice? Because we had to replace a lot of positions that were graduating from last year's team. What was your initial eye test of the new recruits?
Well, the one thing I will say, and I kind of, me and Coach DeBose looked at each other at some point after practice and kind of, nodded our head, nodded our head. Hey, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. The thing you like. Now the first day is always easy, an easier day because there was a lot of spirit. There was a lot of energy. The kids were running around. The kids were competing. They were having a good time. They were having fun. There was some hitting going on. There was all of those things. And, as a coach, that is one of the things, kids got to enjoy playing football. And
right.
Yesterday, I don't know. I think we had counting our rising ninth graders, 170, give or take, out there yesterday. And there was a lot of kids that looked like they enjoyed to be there.
Sure. Man, so did you say 190 kids?
Do you have me?
Yeah, can you hear me, Coach? Coach Akers, can you hear me?
Larry, have I lost you?
No, I can hear you fine, man. I know you're in the middle of nowhere, probably.
Okay. Here we go. I got you now.
Okay. So did you say 190 kids were at practice yesterday?
170.
170.
Now that's counting our rising ninth graders. Next year's
Gotcha.
ninth graders. Of approximately 170.
Gotcha.
There was a bunch of them. It took right up until the very last minute. Coach DeBose and Coach Chandler, Al Chandler, they were running around. We had kids that we still had to get helmets on. They just getting them sized. We needed a few more extra large helmets, and it was kind of chaotic to get everybody on the grass, but we got them out there, and once we did, I thought it was a good day. We had in a coaches meeting this morning, we had a lot of kids, and I'll leave some out, but a lot of kids, that we were surprised. The comment was made, this kid did not contribute last year at all, and he had a really, really good day today.
Sure.
And so those are always positive things that you like to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, something that I noticed out there, I don't know if you guys did this a lot last year, but one thing that Coach DeBose has been stressing this year is, I hear him say it all the time, smart, fast, physical. That fast part, I noticed that you guys were practicing at a very high up tempo. Is that a normal speed of a practice? Do you guys go faster? Do you slow it down? And I just noticed that it was a very up tempo practice.
Yes, and that is something that we definitely want to do. Coach DeBose, smart, fast, physical, and we're a year in now, and so there's a lot more expectations. With the COVID shutdown last year, and I mean, we hit practice was in August. So we didn't have a spring practice. We didn't, when the practice schedule said, this, Viking drill, what we call Viking drill. I'll be honest with you, heck, I wasn't real sure what Viking drill was, and I knew them kids didn't know what Viking drill was or where we were supposed to go, and so things like that. Yesterday, you could just feel, everybody knew where to go. You knew what to do. And a lot of times it just comes down to reps. And,
Right.
It's a simple mathematics thing. If we can snap the ball, every 30 seconds, and I'm talking about the time between plays to get the play called and all that, and in a 10-minute period, you're going to run 20 plays. If you snap it every minute and a half, you're going to run 7 plays. And 20 is better than 7, and just makes you a better football player, makes you a better football team, makes you a better football program.
When I met Coach DeBose last year, he was talking to the Touchdown Club and the group that had gathered to hear him talk first couple of times. And he was asked a question about his practices, how he conducts them, things like that. And he was kind of going into some details of it. And he said something that kind of stood out to me. He said, if we do this right, if we practice right, we don't have to run at the end of practice because we run all throughout practice. And now I see what he was talking about. Coach,
absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, one thing that stood out to me this year was, we're graduating a lot of kids from last year's team. So that means that you got to pick out a lot of new bodies to insert into this offensive and defensive scheme. One thing that I really noticed was you guys are using Chase Belcher almost all over the field.
Yeah, he's lining up everywhere. You mentioned it before you brought me on. I'm also the special teams coordinator. We don't do a lot of special teams in spring. But I believe yesterday Chase lined up at punter, the punt returner, running back, and wide receiver on the same day, all within about a 20-minute span. He played. He actually punted the ball. He we handed him the ball at running back, and he played receiver, and then he went back there and caught a couple punts too. And, so
just a day in the life of Chase Belcher.
Yep, that was pretty versatile. And the last player that I coached off the top of my head that we did something like that was Tiberius Dressier a couple years ago. He was like that, and Tiberius was one of the best high school football players I've been around. And and Chase is a great kid and works hard and has all the potential in the world.
Coach, we know the names of Ja'Cory Brown, Chase Belcher, Tyler Belcher, some of these guys that have been with the program for a while, but you're filling in a lot of holes. Who are some of the names that are up and coming that we need to be on the lookout for?
Well, one thing that I've kind of been saying for a year now, for the last several years, Lowndes has been blessed up front on the defensive side of the ball, on the defensive line. I'm talking Thomas Davis, Leon Williams, Jock Hunter, and we knew them kids were graduating.
Right.
And for most of my coaching career, when we're running offense, I'm the guy, that's kind of making sure the defense is in the right spot and giving us the right look. And all last year, I just kept walking in and saying, I was like, how in the world are these young defensive linemen? Oh my God. They were really, really good, but they had really, really good players in front of them. And,
right.
To name a couple is Vernon Wright, Jaden Battle, Deshaun Williams, 3 of them right there. W.C. Fulton played some for us last year, but them young kids, Vernon and Jaden Battle, right off the top of my head, I watch them, give us trouble every day. And then, to watch them yesterday, they now look the part of Friday night football players. And, so hopefully, the kind of the run on talent, not talent, but talent and ability we've had up front on the defensive line, it hopefully, that's going to continue.
Yeah, you're right. For the last several years, probably the last 5 or 6 years, we've been really, really blessed with just, defensive lineman after defensive lineman rotating through the system. So it's very refreshing to hear you say, listen, the cupboard's not bare at Lowndes. We got 170 kids. The bench is pretty deep. So, what's the rest of spring practice? What's I know that you've got some events that it's kind of cutting up or kind of separating days between practices. You got the prom coming up that's going to be held at the stadium. What's the rest of the schedule like?
So we actually, obviously, if I'm in a boat, we didn't practice today.
That's right.
Hopefully. But we are, we take today off. Tomorrow, our freshmen will practice, and what we're having to dodge, it's not so much the players, which it does affect some players, but it's our coaches.
Okay.
Our golf team's very good, and our golf team, that I don't know what tournament it is. I think it's sectionals is tomorrow, I believe.
Right.
And so we're missing coaches for that. We've got coaches at baseball, and then our track teams, boys and girls, are both very successful. And
that's right.
It's just, it's we're having to break up practice a little bit because, our baseball team, our golf team, our track teams are being very successful right now. And to be honest with you, as the Lowndes Viking, that's a good problem to have.
Absolutely. Those we got a lot of good track guys. Coach Quinn's doing a great job with that track team. We got some speedsters coming up to the varsity football team. Coach, a kid that really stood out to me at this, and I was told that I think he's a rising sophomore kid named, I think his name is Ja'Cory Fleming. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Ja'Cory Fleming. He's a rising sophomore. He's a running back. we came in, we graduated Justin Lee and IJ from last year, and Justin and IJ had played the year before that. And, we didn't have a lot of names at the running back position, in terms like we didn't have 20 kids wrote down. And, so obviously Chase Belcher's working there some and had a good day. Jakari Fleming had I think has the ability to be a very, very good football player for us. There's he was physical all day. There's also another young kid that's a rising sophomore. His name's Eric Brown, and Eric did a lot of good things yesterday. And now he's got to grow. He's still Coach Wisham will take care of that though. And
Right.
it was the running backs. I felt like for the first day, obviously, I mean, wasn't nobody was going to be declared Super Bowl MVP yesterday, as I told my kids. But I thought we did a lot of good things at a lot of different positions, and two, a lot of it is getting something on film so then we can go back and teach. I told my kids, and I tell them a lot, the difference between an average football player and a really, really good football player. There's a lot of differences, but the one thing is the players, once they figure out how to take what they do in drill work, we go and we run drills, and we, every position we work on getting in a stance, we work on footwork, we work on, our all these things, our first step, our reads, our eye placement, all that. But then when you get out there live fire 11 on 11 with 100 people watching or 10,000 people watching come October, can you do all those little things? And it's just carrying over, some of the drill work that we've, been doing to lead up to prepare, and being able to transfer that to an actual team, an actual football setting is. And, there were some kids that did a very good job of adapting that. And there were some others that need to improve. And, they did good things, but we also got stuff to work on. And it's just hard to replace film.
That's right.
When you can get good film, and especially film in a spring situation where it's best on best. It's A1s, that's our first string, versus A1, the first string offense versus the first string defense. And we can really see, and you can really evaluate, and you can really teach. Look here, you were late because your eyes or your first step. Look, I was preaching at my kids this morning. Look right here, you step with your left foot, not your right. All those little things, and it's those little details that separate the good to great, and we want to go from good to great.
That's right. And finally, Coach, you like we said earlier, you're also the special teams coordinator, and we've also lost some folks there in that department to graduation. I think we're losing a punter, a long snapper. Last year during the season, our starting kicker went down to injury. I think he's coming back. What does the special teams, because that's the third team of our program, right? They're just as important as the offense and defense. What does the special teams look like? What can we expect?
Well, we Preston Hart, you mentioned it. Our original, beginning of the season starting kicker was Franklin Aguilar. He got hurt, went down to injury. Preston Hart came in, and they were both neck and neck. They were both competing for the job, competing for playing time. Best man plays. And, Preston, as a place kicker, had a phenomenal, Preston was nominated for All-State. He went 8 for 8 on field goals on the year, did all of those things, was the kickoff guy. Now we graduated our long snapper, John Quinn, who signed with West Georgia to snap for them. We also graduated Zeb Fletcher. But they had 3 or 4 kickers on last year's 9th grade team. And I went and spent, had a little gap there in practice. I was running around, and we've also got a couple of young kids coming who, when you stand there and hear it, and, you just hear their ball hit the foot, it makes that sound. And if you've ever stood there and heard a real kicker kick it the way it hits the foot, it's impressive. And now we have several kids competing for the long snapping spot. We have several kids competing for the punting spot, the punting job. Carson Page, who is upcoming 10th grader, a rising 10th grader. He's at baseball, and Carson is a phenomenal athlete, and he has moved up to varsity baseball, so he will not be with us this spring. But Carson's a very good punter, and and then obviously yesterday Chase Belcher punted, and like I said, we expect Preston Hart, Franklin Aguilar, and then we have two young kids that are very capable kickers, and so we're excited there. In the return game, we have Tyler Belcher back. Ronnie Davis will catch some kicks for us, and we created some plays in some punt return last year. In hindsight, kickoff return, they for a multitude of reasons, we were always 1 or 2 blocks away. We would like to make our kickoff return team a little bit better weapon for our team. Like I said, it always starts with punt and punt return. Those are the 2 bread and butter special teams, and those are the 2. We start day 1 of spring, and
Right.
like I said, figuring out the punt coverage unit, and we call that pride and joy. The best players in the program, you're on that team. It needs to be a sense of pride if you're on the punt team or the punt return team, and we call it the pride team. We don't say punt, we say the pride team.
Wow.
And that's and that came from originally, years ago. I'd heard that Coach Frank Beamer at Virginia Tech. Remember when Coach Beamer had all his success at Virginia Tech? They were blocking kicks, returning kicks, punt team was executing. If you remember, the North Cobb playoff game last year.
That's right. Yep.
Our punt coverage unit, Josh Pickett, CJ Tomlin, who are both back. I mean, they were phenomenal in that game and made a major impact in winning that playoff game. And,
Absolutely.
So, there's we got a long way to go, and we have some question marks, but the cover's not, kind of like I talked about the defensive line, the cover's not completely bare, and there's something there to work with. I
got you. Well, Coach, listen, I want to thank you again for coming off the lake tonight, loading your bass boat probably a little bit earlier than you'd wanted, but you felt like it was important to appear on the show tonight to talk about the program. So we appreciate everything that you do out there at Lowndes High School and specifically with the football program. Thank you so much.
We appreciate it, Larry, and thank you for what y'all do.
Yes, sir. Have a good night. And there was Josh Akers, associate head coach of the Lowndes High Vikings and special teams coordinator. Guys, listen, before we bring Daryl back onto the show to finish our conversation with his how do I put this, Daryl? You saw the light, man. You've been in darkness for many, many years now. And you saw the light and you kind of put it off. And all of a sudden you just grasp and it grabbed you back and it brought you into the light. And so we welcome you to the Viking Nation, my brother. So listen, guys, this episode of Around the Nation is brought to you by our good friends at Winn-Dixie of Valdosta. Clint Haynes is store manager there. He does a fantastic, fantastic job. Listen, something that we are starting tonight is a Winn-Dixie giveaway. And it's called Stuff the Bucket. So this is what I need you to do if you would like to enter for your chance to win. Check this out. Type into the comments, #OneLowndes. Into the comments to enter the Winn-Dixie drawing at the end of the show. And what you're going to win is, if you get selected, is you get basically a free bucket of wings and riblets. All you can stuff into that bucket belongs to you. So anyway, that's on us and our friends at Winn-Dixie of Valdosta. So all you have to do for that is to enter #OneLowndes into the comments, just to enter. And at the end of the show, we'll just do a random drawing. Now, we are working on a tool that will allow us to do the random drawing on the screen, so you can see, Pete, the names going across the screen, and it just randomly stops on one name. But we don't have that in place yet. So tonight, you're just going to have to take my word for it. We're going to randomly select somebody, and I even may let Daryl pick that person. You guys just have to sit down. Hey, we got Lori Cootie Reeves already. Tony Green. One Lowndes. There you go. Lawyer Reeves, one Lowndes. There you go. You guys want that stuff to bucket. That's what it is. All right, guys, let's bring Daryl back onto the screen. So, Daryl, you heard, just like the rest of our audience, you heard from the Lowndes tennis coach. You see what we got going on with the Lowndes tennis team and your perennial power in tennis. You heard from the associate head coach, special teams coordinator, Josh Akers, what's going on there. And what do you think, man? This is the new family you're part of.
Man, y'all got everything but the kitchen sink over here.
I do have to put a, I told you this was going to happen. Some of your Valdosta brethren were not going to like this news. Check out what Rashawn Berrien said. Check this. I'm not going to repeat it, but I'll show it to you on the screen. Like, wait, what the heck?
Come on, Rashawn. Come on, man.
Vera Baldry is confused. She's got a question mark. Caleb Arnold says, Rashawn Berry, don't start no trouble over here. They're all having a great time with this. But listen, most everybody so far is echoing what Luke Bush says. He says this: welcome to the Viking Nation. So we sincerely mean that. We sincerely mean that, man. We hope to see you at many, many Viking games. I got a serious question for you, though. Mm-hmm. How are you going to feel? What kind of emotions is going to run through your mind when you sit on the Lowndes side this year during the Wintersville Classic at Martin Stadium? Now, obviously, let me take that back. You may not be on the Lowndes side because it's going to be sold out. So you're going to have to find a ticket where you can find it, unless you become a season ticket holder. How are you going to feel cheering for Lowndes during the Wintersville Classic? Your honest opinion.
Man, I'm going to be lost for words, but I tell you what, I am going to be excited about. I can't wait when that band revs up and does that Go Vikings Go thing with the hand gesture. I can't wait to do that. I can't wait to do that. I think that's pretty much the highlight. I guess the biggest thing that y'all do next to scoring a touchdown and hearing that Viking horn. But as far as the Wintersville Classic goes, a lot of people don't know I played in it.
Did you really?
So I did. I played in the Wintersville Classic. And I tell you what, and I've gone to a lot of them over the years, played in them, and graduated, and then still kept going to them. So I mean, it's the atmosphere on the home side. And you're right, y'all home side sells out pretty quick. So yeah, I'm gonna be a season ticket holder, so I can get my hands on. But y'all home side, man, I'm telling you that is standing room only. I may have to make a few the first print's going to make a few phone calls and get some reserved seating going on, because man, y'all got it going on that home side.
Listen, the season tickets are probably going to go out for renewals for the existing season ticket holders. It'll probably go out in May or June, something like that. And then once that phase ends, then they'll open it up for new season ticket holders. And so if you haven't already, go ahead and follow the Viking Nation Facebook page, and we'll make all those announcements when it's time to do all that stuff. So listen, I don't know if you know Ronnie Davis. He says this: welcome, but I'll be watching you.
Listen, I'm pretty sure, Ronnie. I know I'm going to be watched by a lot of Viking fans out there, just to see. Although since now then that the cat is out of the bag, or should I say the Viking is out of the bag.
There you go.
I'm going to get some good support, and I know I'm going to get some opposition. So I was, really prepared for all that. But again, Larry, I'm excited. I'm excited to be a part of the Viking Nation. I'm excited, for Vikings, for for Lowndes Athletics overall. You know, I listened to the head tennis coach talk about the season that they had. You know, sadly it came to an abrupt end, and then of course,
Yeah.
Listening to Coach Akers and talking about, I believe he said something to the tune of 170 players
Right.
to come out. So you know that speaks volume of the direction that Coach DuBose has got this football program going. And I would be amiss if I didn't thank Coach McPherson for the job that he has done over the years with this program. And now that Jamie DuBose has taken over, I believe he's in his second year now. And, you know, the sky's the limit, you know, for Viking Nation and, you know, for Viking Athletics.
That's right. Hey, listen, you've got this message from Lily Johnson. Do you know Lily?
Yes.
Lily Johnson. She says, Daryl, welcome to Lowndes, but she follows it up with this. Wait till I tell Pastor. Sounds like Pastor might be a Wildcat fan.
I call her Mama Lily. And she is just a jewel to be around. I love me some Mama Lily. And thank you, Mama Lily. And I know there are going to be, I know one group of Viking fans that's probably shocked. Well, and that would be the Clemens family.
Why do you say that?
Well, because I go to church with them.
Okay.
And so one of the sons is the principal at Pine Grove, and the other son is an assistant coach on the 9th grade staff, Jermaine. So I tell you what, I got some roots.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes down to
now is Abe Clemens part of that group?
Yes.
Okay, because he's on our touchdown club board.
Yes. Yes. As he should be.
That's right. Clemens go way back with Lowndes High School. So listen, man, you've got I mean, it's not like the Lowndes program is unfamiliar territory because you've got roots in the Lowndes community. You've got family members that are current Viking fans, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, one of them owns a local daycare that's very popular, Bright Start, Sherba Williams, and her husband owns a dealership, Buddy Road Auto Sales. So that I believe my other cousin Chelsea was a track star at Lowndes, and then her son is currently playing football at the middle school. So that just goes to show you how deeply my roots go. My mother, just to give you a brief history, my late mother, she grew up in Naylor, and she grew up in the county system back in those days. And I grew up in that. When we moved down here, I grew up in a house divided. So, and the story goes, and I'll be brief with it. When we moved here to Valdosta in '96, my mom was trying to figure out, you know, where her kids was going to have an education. Well, you know, someone put in her, one of my family members put in her ear, hey, maybe they should go to Lowndes. You know, they need to go to Lowndes. Well, my mom's brother, my late uncle, he was like the head of the family, and he was in the den that day, and he gets up and he says, that boy's going to play for Valdosta, and that's where he's going. And utter silence was in the room, and that was it. So
gotcha. Okay.
You know, so and like I said, ever since then I was a diehard Wildcat, and you know, so now after 20 years I've decided to choose my own path, and so here I am. The Fresh Prince is now. Go ahead.
Finish your statement, man. It sounds like you were about to say something really, really good. The Fresh Prince is now a.
Oh yeah, the Fresh Prince is now a Viking, and he has established his kingdom at the concrete. So I'm excited. I can't wait to be at. And I've already given it a nickname because you know the concrete palace. I know that name just sticks, but I'm calling it. I believe y'all renamed the field Joe Wilson Field.
That's
So
right.
I'm calling it hashtag the Wintersville at the Joe. So
Got
that's
okay. Okay.
the Wintersville at the Joe. So it's going to be a showdown, the Wintersville showdown at the Joe.
I
Hashtag the
got
Joe.
you. Hey, listen, you got to do me a favor. You know, we have
Mhm.
a mutual friend, big Mr. Wildcat football guy named Marcus Rogers. He's got
Yes.
this habit of calling it the concrete slab. You got to send him a text tonight to set him straight. It's the concrete palace. It's where
You know what?
kings and queens reside. It is a palace.
I will tell him. I'm going to inbox him today, and I'll let him know. Like, Marcus, listen, man, you're my brother, but hey, listen, you got to stop. It's not the concrete slab. It's the concrete palace. It's the
There you
palace.
go. There you go.
And if you can't say that, just call it the Joe.
There you go. Listen, good luck with that because our fan base, we're kind of, yeah, you know, we're pretty fond of the concrete palace. But you can try to start any movement that you want to start.
Well, I tell you what, Viking Nation has, y'all have this, I guess this thing that y'all call yourselves the Plowboys,
Yeah.
with the overalls and the straw hats and whatnot. I just thought about it. I need to buy me one. I got to get me a pair of overalls.
Oh my
But
gosh, Daryl Britt in a pair of overalls. Woo!
yeah,
That might melt
how
Facebook
about
when
that
that
for a
picture
photo op?
gets out.
How about that
Yeah,
for a photo op?
that's
But
right.
I
That's
tell you
right.
what, I'm it's going to be something, and I tell you what, the transition right now it's off to a really great start for me. Like I said, I'm excited. I can't wait to meet Coach DeBose, and I'm going to be out there tomorrow. I believe the freshmen is having their practice tomorrow, and I'm going to be out
Yeah.
there Saturday morning. I know it's early because 9 o'clock. I'm an early bird, so Larry, I work at night, so I'm already going to be up anyway. So
I got you.
morning at 9 o'clock, and I'll just put this out there. If any Viking fan, anybody out there on Viking Nation that's listening, if you want to come out, I know it's early in the morning and it's just practice, but hey, let me tell you something. The Fresh Prince always likes to get the first glimpse of what Viking Nation or what the players are going to have in store this season. So y'all come on out and let's get behind these kids. Let's get behind these young men. And let's give them our support.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Hey, listen, that is going to wrap it up for tonight's show. We usually like to keep this thing at about an hour, and it's 7:59 now. So listen, I'm going to make our quick drawing. And remember, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds for any last minute people that want to enter this drawing, right? Just put into the comments, #1Lowndes, #1Lowndes for your chance to win a Stuff the Bucket wings and riblets basket from Winn-Dixie of Valdosta right there at 5 points. Okay. Valerie Belcher. I think she's in shock. Valerie, I was too when I first heard this. Rashawn Berrien says, "Oh Lord, have mercy."
Everybody, listen, Miss Val, and Larry, I'll be brief with you on this one. It's not a joke. You're not hallucinating. Most people think that it's a side effect from the vaccine shot. No, that's not it either. I'm officially a Viking. I'm
I hear you,
officially
man.
a part of Viking Nation. This is real. This is why I came on the Viking Nation to make it official. So it is now official and it is now stamped. I am now a Viking.
Well, I'm really glad to hear it. I really am. I've been preaching for years that Lowndes is a very, very big tent, and we welcome a lot of diverse voices into the camp. And so we welcome you aboard Viking Nation. So thank you. Listen, man, thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Oh, Larry,
okay.
Thank you for having me, man. I'll tell you what, this has been real fun. It's been really exciting. And man, I'm looking forward to coming on your show again. And hopefully, maybe when I think you do it every Thursday. Hopefully
That's right.
I'll give you an update on how spring practice went over the weekend. And with Friday and Saturday, updates, because of course the Fresh Prince is always going to have the inside scoop on what's going on. This is
listen,
why I
man,
like
when
going to
you go all in, you go all in. I like it.
You
Giving
already know.
reports on the team already. I love it. I love
you
it.
already know.
Hey, listen,
I hate
to cut you off. Yeah, I hate to cut you off, but we gotta approach the end of the show here. Let me do my quick drawing here. And so tonight's first winner of the Winn-Dixie Valdosta Stuff the Bucket is, let me press this button here. You guys can't see this. And hopefully by next week, I'll have it where you can see the random drawing, but you can't see this because I don't have it set up yet. It is going to be none other than Mr. Tony Green. Tony, if you're still listening, buddy, send me a direct message. I'll let you know how to do it, how to go up there in Winn-Dixie, who you need to talk to get your Stuff the Bucket. So congratulations to Tony Green. And if you didn't win tonight, y'all come back next Thursday night because we'll do this drawing all over again. So, Daryl, I'm going to take you off the screen now. Thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight. And so for the rest of you, y'all have a great weekend. Tomorrow's Friday. We all live for the weekend now. Thank you so much for joining Around the Nation presented by the Viking Nation Live. And so with that, it's LG signing out. Peace.